What's up, legends? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream with me. My name is Stefan Kunz, and today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to draw letters with ease. Yes, I'm actually not a learned or taught calligrapher, designer, lettering artist, whatever you want to think of. I didn't learn or study the design or the art of lettering. But what I did, well, maybe I did. I actually learned it by myself over a long period of time, and I've come up with a lot of creative solutions to make it a lot easier for me, because perhaps kind of like you, I'm very lazy and I love to have things very easy and without a lot of friction, do them and make them easy for me to understand, because I'm also not that smart. You are probably smarter than I am, but I love to simplify things and make them a lot easier for me. So you're gonna ask yourself, what does this have to do with letters? Well, what does this grid here, this 5x3 grid, have to do with lettering? Now, I'm gonna tell you all about this because one of the things that I love to do is to kind of like simplify how to draw letters. All right, let's jump over in here. And here we go. So one of the things that I've learned when drawing letters is that I need to come up with a way to make that easy. One of the things why drawing letters is really hard is because if you're drawing an S, you're like, oh, okay, this is great. Now this is a small letter S, but now if I draw an E, I'm just like, oh, come on, can I make it like similar? Now it's not similar, okay. What about a T? And you see like the T becomes longer. Now, if you get a lot of practice, you get that actually it's getting easier. You kind of like get the idea of like drawing a letter more consistent over time, but that doesn't mean that it will be easy at the beginning. Now, to make it really easy at the beginning, one of the ways that I've created is that I've realized, like, you know what? Every single letter has something in common. They can all, pretty much all, except for a W and an M, but I'll get there. It can be actually drawn inside of this rectangle. So while I was drawing like letters, I usually started to draw out this 5x3 grid and then started to draw like, all right, I want an H or an M or a P. Like, let's start with my first letter, a simple letter, the P. So I go in and I was like, all right, P, this is the P, the shape of the P. Now, all I gotta do is really fill out those bricks here and follow those lines. And it's so much easier to redraw the same bricks over and over again because they're the same. Like, it's linear, it's geometric, it's something very logic. And so my brain actually functions kind of like that, really logic. Whenever I need to understand something, it needs to be logic. So then, okay, how do I fix this? Like, now it looks like a pixelated font, right? So you can actually start drawing in like curves in here, and you can kind of like fix those little inconsistencies and like adding here some curve, which is beautiful and nice. And even in here, inside here, I can add some curves. I can change around some shapes. But look at that. That is a absolutely beautiful P. And now I can just redraw another letter in the same way. So let me just try to redraw the same grid over here. And let's get a letter from the audience here who's watching. I see Lujen is here, so an L could be easy. So an L would be either that. So you could just now fill out all of these boxes one by one and either stop here at the first one, or you can keep going to the second one. So you've drawn an L and you keep going through that process. Now, one of my first letters of my name is an S, kind of like up here. And you might think like, all right, but this is a little bit more complicated with an S. So let's look at an S. How do you draw an S? So an S, easy, kind of like that, right? Looks terrible if I just did it. So right now, I can already start coloring in. All right, these boxes would be filled in completely. Here there's a curve inside, so I'm not gonna color that in. And here. Now, I can add that curve in here, color that in, curve here, color that in, curve there, and kind of like add those curves here. And you know, just with a little bit of tweaking, you get very close to the letter that you're looking for. And of course, that is really beginning. That is how to get started with drawing letters. And you keep going with that, but you start off with just filling out those shapes and drawing it out. Now, one thing that I love to talk about then is adjusting this grid, because when you start adjusting this grid, it becomes really, really powerful. So let me show you what you can do. One thing that has blown away the most people is actually that you can switch around those blocks. So let's say you want a different style of letters, like let's go with something here. So here's my grid. Now I want to change up the side. So I want a contrast rich letter. So what I will do is I'm actually gonna draw in these a little bit tighter. Then, because this is kind of like the inline, I'm just gonna add like here, those are 3 bars that I need to put in. Like this is a bar, this is a bar, this is a bar. Now let's take a letter E, for example. So E is like this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna color in the first major bar, so that's the heavy one, and then here just the tiny one. And here I can reduce it just a tiny little bit. So this is when you learn about letters, and again, this is what I teach in my lettering class. There are some things that you will learn exactly, that some letters are different and what you need to watch out for. But basically this is that. And so here you have an E. Now I want a serif E. So adding serifs, knowing where to add them is important. If you know them once, and then I can add those serifs here and there. And here we go. You've drawn a serif styled E with a lot of contrast. Contrast meaning the difference between the thick and the thin. Now let's change it up again. Let's change up the size or the shape of the letter. So for example, I want a thin, narrow, light looking S. So again, light means all these sides here. These are where mostly the letters are drawn. And again, those crossbars, those bars here need to all be light. So here I'm gonna start and I'm gonna draw my S in here, and I'm gonna try to draw them within these lines. So here, again, if I want to keep the mono weight, then I can just go around. And the cool thing is also, you can change the placement of this bar here. So this is where it gets really interesting. So this is, again, an S. And you realize that this is extremely simple to draw. Now, what else could we do? Again, I said like we can change the crossbar. So the height of the crossbar, let's say I kind of want like a lower style here. So let's add the crossbar in low here. Again, I want to add just a little bit of contrast, not too much contrast, but a tiny little bit. So here it is, and I want to draw an A. So again, I'll go in here and I'll try to, well, I know that an A has to be a little bit different just from those sides. But here we go, I'll put in these. And with some flexibility, you'll learn how you draw every single letter within that square and learn how to draw that. But you need to know a little bit of knowledge about every single letter. So printing out like a list of letters, and that's something, for example, you'll get when you get my online course, is you'll get also all of these printed out, so you know exactly where do I have to put on the weight, because there's this very easy form about that. Downstrokes are thick, upstrokes are thin, but knowing where the downstroke is and which way direction you need to draw the letter, that is important. So here we have the crossbar lowered. Again, you can play around with these and you can create your own form. Now, one of the things that I get asked a lot, or people mention a lot, is that, you know what, Stefan, this actually looks a lot like the letter builder. And this is where I have to say, exactly, this is how we came up with the letter builder, because one of the things was that I was always using this. So whenever you look at the letter builder here, this is the 3x5 grid. But we have actually worked on this grid so much that we've added a lot of different lines inside as well, kind of like the A in here, the X or the O. And there are some small adjustments that you have to know about that doesn't seem so obvious when you see it. So this is really the rudimentary, easy way to do it yourself without actually thinking about it too much. So this is it. This is how to draw letters with ease, changing up the styles, adding serifs, adding all these elements inside. And hopefully in the next video, I'm gonna be showing you how to come up and add a lot of different flavors, spice up your letters. With that, I'm trying to create an Instagram post for this, so stay tuned for that. And I am really excited to see all of you guys checking out, signing up for the online course, seat saving, whatever it is. No, so you can sit back by relaxing, by using the link in the description below. You can sign up and get all the emails necessary, all the information for the course, all what's going to be inside the course, when it's going to launch, when the secret launch is. I don't know. Maybe you will find out. And again, I'm really excited about launching this course because I've been working on it for so long, and this is just a small tiny bit. So if you want to learn more about how to build letters, how to draw letters and create like all these different type of fonts, like I am probably well known for the diversity of fonts, because one of the questions I get asked the most is, how do you come up with all these different kind of fonts? Let me show you just an example. Maybe you remember this. See how many styles are there in this drawing, in these styles? So we have even Jonathan's name here. We have Anna Laura's name. Where is it? Where am I seeing? Here, Anna Laura's name. We've got a lot of names of my patrons, my favorite people here on this channel. And again, look at all these different fonts. This was a 5-hour drawing. Well, and then I added stippling. Stippling is a messy thing. But again, coming up with your signature style, finding out how you can come up with all these different style of letters. This is what I love to teach about, how I break things down. And if you loved how I broke things down in this class, and just imagine how it is to hear a workshop that I've been working on hours and hours on end, teaching I've taught this workshops to over 200 people in person, and they were all really excited. They told me we've got a lot of great feedback from them, and even a lot of them here, Supernova was here, a lot of them are really there. So I'm excited to be launching this course, and I hope you are too, and I can't wait to see what you will be creating and that you are going to create your best work yet, because lettering is amazing and lettering is going to be so much fun. So guys, I can't wait to see that. And so here we have the new online course coming out soon, and yes, I'm using this time here. So new online course is coming out soon. You're gonna be able to watch it on all your devices. You're gonna have a booklet that's coming with it. So we have a awesome ultimate lettering booklet here that contains a lot of great content with all the exercises and everything that you can download, print, and use as well. So this is also great content, great stuff that's coming with it. So I can't wait to have you guys get your hands on that. And you just gotta be patient for a little longer for it to come, but it's gonna come very, very, very soon. So I can't wait for that. So let's see. And here's my computer, and I just need to quickly get something in the way. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, guys, check out the link in the description below for the online course so you get signed up really fast, and that you are the one to know when you need to sign up for the online course. And until then, keep creating, make awesome stuff, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video if you haven't already, and see you guys very, very soon. Bye.